A stranger at work handed me a letter, and it told me who I really am. I used to work part-time as a janitor at a private high school. Not glamorous, but it paid well and gave me flexible hours for college. The school was fancy. Blazers, Latin mottos, and kids who drove Teslas to class kind of fancy. Most staff ignored me unless they needed something cleaned faster, except for Ms. Carter. She was the school counselor. Mid-40s, warm smile, always made a point to say good morning. Sometimes left little sticky notes with messages like, "You matter," or "Be kind to yourself" on the breakroom fridge. Most people probably thought she was just being nice, but those notes hit different when you're the invisible person in the room. One night, I was working late during parent-teacher conferences. Empty halls, lights half off, just me and the faint buzz of vending machines. I was vacuuming near the counseling office when I heard voices. I don't eavesdrop, ever, but one sentence stopped me cold. "Do you think he'd want to know the truth?" A male voice, tired, quiet. I paused, turned off the vacuum. Then Ms. Carter's voice replied, softer than I'd ever heard her speak. "I've written the letter 3 times, but I never send it. I don't even know if he remembers me." I backed up slowly, but my boot squeaked against the tile. The voices stopped. A moment later, Ms. Carter opened the office door and peeked out. Her face went pale when she saw me. We stared at each other. I felt like I'd walked into a private moment, and I was about to apologize when she said, Do you have a minute?" I nodded. She stepped aside and motioned me in. There was a man sitting across from her. Gray hair, faded army jacket, nervous hands. He looked at me like he was searching for something in my face. Ms. Carter said, "This is him. This is Ben." The man stood slowly, his eyes wet. You're the janitor?" I said yeah, confused. Then Ms. Carter walked to her filing cabinet, pulled out a worn envelope, and handed it to me. "This is for you," she said. "You don't have to read it now, but I think it's time." I didn't open it until I got home. Inside was a letter, dated 17 years ago, signed by a name I didn't recognize. It started with, "Dear Ben, you were just a baby when I last saw you." I sat down. My hands were shaking. The letter went on to explain that I had been adopted at age 2. My mother had died young. My biological father had been deployed when I was born, and didn't even know I existed until it was too late. That man in the office was my father. Ms. Carter, she was the one who helped my mother through her pregnancy. She had tried for years to locate me, but all records were sealed until last month when the school's new digital system flagged my name. She recognized it immediately. I read that letter 5 times that night, cried the kind of tears that feel like they've been waiting years to come out. The next day, I went to school early. Ms. Carter was already there, sitting alone in her office. She looked up, eyes unsure. I said, "Can I see him?" She nodded. When I walked in, he stood again, slower this time. He looked terrified, so I hugged him. No words, just that hug. We spent hours together that day. He told me about the letters he'd sent to adoption agencies, the ones that were never answered, about how he kept photos of a child he never met in a shoebox he never opened. He brought the shoebox. Inside were ultrasound pictures, a hospital bracelet, a photo of my mother smiling in a hospital gown, and a tiny blue sock with my name on it. Ben. That was the first time I heard someone say my name like that, like it meant everything. Since then, we've taken it slow. Coffee every Saturday. Emails, one-liner texts like, "You ever try hot sauce on eggs?" Or, "Watch the game. You get that arm from me?" It's not perfect. Nothing replaces lost time. But now I know where I come from, and somehow that makes all the difference.